They made a statement finally. Um, I forgot to pull up a few things, so let me pull up a couple Twitter pages for you in addition, because there there's no small number of some pretty big bullshit things that have happened um, as far as the OGL is concerned for D&D. Um, so, we'll start with the Twitter. First off, I would like to point out that the official Wizards of the Coast account has said nothing about any of this. D&D Beyond's account retweeted this. They did not post it. They retweeted it. The official Wizards account didn't even do that. And then they released it on the Wizards D&D account. But it's been posted on D&D Beyond. Just the level of disrespect. If you're going to have D&D Beyond be at the forefront of the gun, be the one that's going to get shot because of your inane fucking stupidity, at least have the fucking decency to have the fucking D&D Beyond account retweeted, or better yet, have the balls to do it on your own actual account, Wizards of the Coast. Don't be a little bitch and put it on some sub account and then retweet it on D&D Beyond. Have D&D Beyond actually put it out when D&D Beyond themselves are the ones that fucking said there was going to be an update to the OGL. How fucking callous and disrespectful of you. Now on to the actual update. When we initially conceived of revising the OGL, we had three major goals in mind, all of which are fucking fine in their own right. Mind you. First, we wanted to prevent the use of D&D content from being included in hateful and discriminatory products. That's perfectly fine. That's understandable. That's acceptable. However, current copyright law allows you to do this, Wizards of the Coast. You know this. That's what copyright law is about. You can use your copyright to prevent this from happening. You don't have to go and revise the OGL to do it. Shut the fuck up with your bullshit. Second, we wanted to address those attempting to use D&D and Web3 blockchain games and NFTs by making clear that OGL content is limited to tabletop role-playing content like campaigns, modules, and supplements. Again, perfectly fine, but you can already do this with copyright law. D&D is a tabletop role-playing game. It always has been, since its inception. It moved virtual because that was a good thing for it. Everyone and their mother knows that NFTs and blockchains aren't good. If you wanted to include some provision about it, you could have just updated to say that blockchains and NFT technology is not permitted to be used. You could have very easily specified just that, and you fucking know it. You have lawyers, Wizards of the Coast. Lawyers that get paid thousands and thousands of dollars a day by you. Shut the fuck up with your bullshit. And third, we wanted to ensure that the OGL is for the content creator, the home brewer, the aspiring designer, or players in the community, not major corporations to use for their own commercial and promotional purposes. Let me, real quick, pull up D&D Short's tweet. Just so that way everyone can be reminded what it is that they said. Okay? Wizards of the Coast Currently working on D&D Beyond and with D&D business leaders on the health of the product line. Is who this employee is. Okay? They went to great lengths and risked a lot to do this. A lot. And make no mistake about it. They're going to claim, and they literally do in their own post, they're going to claim later on that it wasn't just us that won, that they also won. No, you did not. No, you did not. You lost. And I've said that multiple times. I've got probably about a dozen tweets out there literally pointing out how you lost. Anyways, they say that they don't want major corporations to use it for their own commercial and promotional purposes. Mind you, Wizards of the Coast is a major corporation that, according to this 1.1 OGL that they had, would have allowed them to take your content for themselves, put it under their legal protection, and then you can do nothing about it. They get all the money, all the profits, everything. You have no legal recourse. They own everything about it. And they would be able to do it at any point in time. And if you made over $750,000, you had to pay them. You had no choice about it. You had to pay them. Doesn't matter what your content actually is. Driving these goals were two simple principles. One, our job is to be good stewards of the game. And two, the OGL exists for the benefit of the fans. Nothing about those principles has wavered for a second. Now, I believe them on this. I do. I genuinely believe that their principles did not waver. That they genuinely believed these things to be true when they were designing the OGL. Now, did they actually think beyond that? No, obviously not. We all know that. If they did, the OGL 1.1 would have never been written the way it was, whether it was a fucking draft or not. Okay? Lawyers are not stupid. Lawyers are extremely intelligent people. That is why our early drafts of the new OGL included the provisions they did. The draft language was provided to content creators and publishers so their feedback could be considered before anything was finalized. No, it wasn't. This shit was leaked. Shut the fuck up. In addition to language allowing us to address discriminatory and hateful conduct, which you could already do with copyright law, in clarifying what types of products the OGL covers, which you could have done by just specifying that and being, these are what the OGL allows, not blockchain and NFTs. You could have been extremely specific like you are here in this exact fucking post. But you weren't. You were intentionally vague because you wanted to steal the content creator's shit. You wanted all the money for yourself like a greedy little bitch. That's why Stop the Sub worked. That's why all the outrage didn't do shit until we started unsubscribing en masse. And speaking with our wallets, because that's all you fucking care about. If you don't believe me, what about this employee that risked their job to leak this? To prove that all you fucking care about is your bottom line. Where was I? Yes. Hateful conduct and clarifying what it covers. Our draft includes royalty language designed to apply to large corporations attempting to use OGL content. It was never our intent to impact the vast majority of the community. It's not like the OGL said that, hey, if you make anything under 1.1a, we get to take it. You never said anything like that. You definitely said that major corporations aren't allowed to use the OGL for free. You definitely said that. Shut the fuck up, Wizards of the Coast. Once again, they're trying to shoot D&D Beyond. They're trying to have D&D Beyond take the fall. No, fuck you, Wizards of the Coast. Fuck you, Hasbro. You're both multi-million-dollar, multi-billion-dollar companies. You have no fucking excuse as to have this shitty and vague of a fucking OGL. You have what, 100, 200, 300 fucking lawyers at your beck and call at any point in fucking time? Shut the fuck up. I guarantee you have lawyers for some of the top fucking firms. Shut the fuck up. However, it's clear from the reaction that we rolled a 1. Trying to be witty, it doesn't fucking work. I'm not laughing at this. This isn't funny. You're trying to steal content creators' work. You're trying to rob them of their livelihoods. You're trying to completely fuck your community that built you. And there are arguments out there. There are arguments that are like, oh, but if this was an OGL from the beginning, the community wouldn't be reacting this way. Yeah, we wouldn't, because we would have expected this shit from the very beginning. But D&D, at its core, the moment it released that OGL, was a community-based, entirely community-based tabletop role-playing game. It thrived because of the community. Had it not been for the community, D&D would have been destroyed and obliterated, and 4th edition would have never even come out. But the OGL changed everything. It opened the door for the community to prosper and explode, and that's exactly what it did. And then they try to fuck us with 4th edition. And you know what happened? Pathfinder happened. And now Paizo's out making a system-neutral tabletop role-playing game. Completely free. Completely royalty-free. That anyone can use for anything and make any amount of money on. And guess what? They don't have to pay Paizo anything. They don't even have to tell Paizo that they're doing it. And they've been this way since day one. And you know what? They're a private company. And you know what's really funny? D&D Beyond, before they got bought out by Wizards of the Coast, they were really, really good. I was going to actually subscribe. But then they got bought out. And immediately after they get bought out, OGL 1.1 gets released. Paizo is a private company. They can't just be bought out like that. They're not only a private company, but they themselves, from their inception, were built off the community. From its inception, from its very core, the foundation in which Pathfinder itself and Paizo itself is built is the community. They understand that. They accept that. They support that and promote the community of Pathfinder. Wizards promotes Wizards Dungeons and Dragons, not the community. So you're not funny with this little, oh, we rolled a nat 1. It has become clear that it is no longer possible to fully achieve all 3 goals while staying true to our principles. Except you can! Except you can! Here's what you do, Wizards. In your OGL, here's what you do. You state the exact explicit following words. Blockchain, NFT, and Web3 based technology is not permissible to be used with our content. Period. That is, in no uncertain terms, unequivocally denying all access to Web3, to blockchain, and to NFTs. And anyone who tries to, you can then go and take full legal action on. And there's nothing they can do. And you know what? The entire community would love you for it. We would love you so much if you did that. Because we fucking despise that technology. It is so fucking awful in every fucking way. As for the other two, the very first one, you can do already with copyright laws. People are using your shit for racist and slanderous things. Fucking strike them down. Strike them with the full power of fucking Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast. Send the full force of your lawyers down on them and fucking destroy them. I have no sympathy for them. Destroy them. I beg you. And then the second one, or the third one, wanting to keep it so that it's community based. If you just did the first two things, and the wording was very explicit, like it is right here, the third thing would have been accomplished. The OGL would have remained the same, basically, and the content creators, the homebrewers, me, DMs, aspiring designers, your players, your community, we'd have all loved you for it. We'd have been able to expand D&D even further. It would have become even better. But you didn't. You tried to steal our shit. And we don't tolerate that. You tried to do it with 4th edition. We didn't tolerate it then. We made Pathfinder. You tried to do it again. Pathfinder responded. Kobold Press responded. All these different creators responded. Fucking Brian Foster. Yeah. Brian Foster put out a tweet. He put out a tweet that means so much. Let me pull it up. I had actually forgotten about it until just now. So let me bring him up real quick, if I can find him. Here it is. Greed ain't cheap. Now, I'm not saying that he's calling you out because of your fucking greed, but it's pretty fucking obvious to literally everyone beneath this comment who he's talking about. Wizards of the Coast. Don't forget, these people are the same ones that just tried to release $1,000 fucking vanity pack of legendary cards. These are the exact same people. This is not D&D Beyond. This is Wizards of the Coast. This is Hasbro being fucking greedy mega corporations. The very people that they're trying to stop from taking advantage of their community. Let's continue. The next OGL will contain provisions that allow us to protect and cultivate the inclusive environment we are trying to build and specify that it covers only content for TTRPGs. Which, as a reminder, you could have just said what you said up here about it and it would have been exactly the same, except that it would have actually done what you're claiming you were trying to do. Here's the thing. They're making a lot of fucking claims. They claimed they were going to be transparent. Then on the stream they were going to be transparent on. Wizards of the Coast canceled that stream. Wizards canceled it. D&D Beyond did not cancel their stream. Wizards made them cancel it. Wizards made them cancel it. This is Wizards making us shoot D&D Beyond in the back. No, we're not going to shoot D&D Beyond. Because D&D Beyond is an innocent bystander that you're throwing under the bus, Wizards of the Coast. That means that our expressions, such as educational and charitable campaigns, live streams, cosplays, VTT uses, which is virtual tabletop, like Roll20 and Foundry, for example, etc., will remain unaffected by any OGL update. Let us remember this. These are very specific words they are using. Any OGL update. Any. I'm going to be doing videos every single time there is any kind of release for any OGL regarding D&D. If there is a singular word, a singular letter that implies this isn't true anymore, I am fucking blasting Wizards of the Coast. And everyone should do it. Because they're saying right here that they will never do it in any OGL update. Their words, not mine. Content already released under 1.0a will also remain unaffected, which means all currently released 5th edition content is not affected by any OGL update, no matter what. Not even this revised version. All current 5th edition released content is completely exempt. Their words, not mine. What it will not contain is any royalty structure. It also will not include the license back provision that some people were afraid was a means for us. No, we weren't afraid that it was. It was a means for you to steal our work. It was verbatim. You were allowed to steal our work. You yourself, in the fucking lettering of the OGL, stated you yourself, Wizards, had all unequivocal and unrevocable license to all content. And you could claim it at any point. This was you stealing our work. Shut the fuck up. That thought never crossed our mind. Bullshit. Under any new OGL, you will own the content you create. Any OGL. This is Wizards of the Coast saying this. Under any OGL, you retain all ownership. All ownership. We won't. Any language we put down will be crystal clear and unequivocal on that point. The license back language was intended to protect us and our partners from creators who incorrectly allege that we steal their work simply because of coincidental similarities. Now, to their credit, I believe them on this point. I genuinely believe that this was the intent. I do genuinely believe this. But this is not what it would allow them to do, and this is not what they would do. Make no mistake about this, even if this was their initial intent. As we continue to invest in the game that we love and move forward with partnerships in film, television, and digital games, that risk is simply too great to ignore. Now, on this point, there's supposed to be a D&D movie that's coming out. I made it very clear on Twitter, I'm not going to see it until I see a revised version of 1.1 that has nothing to do with stealing our content and forcing us to pay you for shit that we create. Your system, just as a reminder, Dungeons and Dragons is a fantasy setting. The world of Faerun, everything about it, its lore, the names of the characters, the names of the cities, the names of the classes, all of that, you can switch it for literally any other word, and it's no longer D&D, and they can no longer do shit about it. Keep in mind that all you have to do is remove the simple fact that it's related directly to Dungeons and Dragons, and suddenly Wizards of the Coast can't do shit. Because it's no longer Dungeons and Dragons. This is my own personal world that I created. By the way, I've never once ran an actual campaign released by them. Every single Dungeons and Dragons campaign I've ever ran has been entirely homebrew, from the ground up. Try to steal my shit, Wizards of the Coast. Try it. Because I guarantee you there's not a single module you've released that comes anywhere close to what I've done with my campaigns. And that's not me saying that from myself. This is what my players have told me. Because I don't sit there and boast about what I've done. I boast about what my players tell me I've done. Because my players are the ones that enable me to run my campaign. Because without my players, I don't have a campaign. And without a community, you don't have a business. The new OGL will contain provisions that address that risk, but we will do it without a license back and without suggesting we have rights to the content you create. Your ideas and imagination are what makes this game special. That belongs to you. Now, I want to address something real quick. Because when I got to this point in my initial reading, right here, this is when I realized who wrote this. This was likely written by Jeremy Crawford. And the reason I say that is because as far as the content that has been released for 1D&D, Jeremy Crawford, and even the content that's been released for 5th edition, has been very, very, very vocal and outspoken. He's been very active with the community and very active with engaging the community, with talking with the community, with addressing all of our questions. Everything in 5th edition that might be wondered, he has enormous amounts of sage advice on. Here, I'll give you an example. One of the most obscure things that you would have ever thought to think of. Moonbeam. The actual area of effect that it covers. And specifically, how it interacts with creatures being shoved into its area. Now, by its wording, it's pretty clear that the creature only takes the damage once. And only upon entering it for the first time on a turn, or if they start their turn there. Now, this can be vague. Many people have interpreted this as, oh, well, if I shove them through the moonbeam, even if it's not their turn, it's my turn. So that means that they'll take the moonbeam damage. And then the next person can shove them back through, and then they'll take it again. But that's not how this works. And Jeremy Crawford has been very outspoken about this. And not only that, he made it explicitly clear how Moonbeam works when he addressed this with that question. And there are many, 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 many more examples of this out there. And that's why, when I read this sentence right here, I realized it was Jeremy Crawford that wrote this. Because he's the one that would have wrote that. If this was written by a corporate executive or a lawyer, that wouldn't have been written. I guarantee it. Now, I've been delaying this because this last part is hilarious. A couple of last thoughts. First, we won't be able to release the new OGL today because we need to make sure we get it right. But it is coming. Keep in mind, this new OGL cannot in any way take your content. And it cannot imply that it does. Nor can it imply that you have to pay them to produce that content. Second, you're going to hear people say that they won and we lost because making your voices heard forced us to change our plans. Those people will only be half right. They won and so did we. No, you didn't. No, 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 no. no, 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 no. No. You did not win Wizards of the Coast. And in fact, here's the thing. Um, because of this one sentence right here, after my current campaign that I'm running is done, not only will I be removing everything I've put on D&D Beyond, I will be deleting it. I will be making them delete all my information from their servers, making them send me screenshots to prove that they did, to ensure nothing of mine is remaining in accessibility with Wizards of the Coast. And then all of my 5th edition content is getting completely converted away from 5th edition and completely away from Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm converting over to Pathfinder 2nd edition. Or perhaps, actually, this new tabletop neutral RPG system that they're releasing. I'll probably actually just convert it over to that. And I'm going to run that. And I'm not going to do anything related to D&D ever again. Except for covering their terrible OGLs that they're undoubtedly going to release and telling you exactly what they're trying to fuck with this time. Our plan was always to solicit the input of our community before any update to the OGL. The drafts you've seen were attempting to do just that. We want to always delight fans and create experiences together that everyone loves. We realize we did not do that this time, and we are sorry for that. Our goal was to get exactly the type of feedback on which provisions worked and which did not, which we ultimately got from you. Not in a way that you should have, though. Well, I mean, in the way that you definitely deserved. But, yeah. Any change this major could only have been done well if we were willing to take that feedback, no matter how it was provided, so we are. Good. Good. I'm giving them a round of applause. Good. This is a learning moment. Let's remember this. I've been very harsh to them. I've outright sworn off D&D after my current campaign ends. However, learning, growth, that is what I promote. That is what they are trying to do. They're trying to learn, allegedly, anyways, they're claiming they're trying to learn, that they're trying to grow from this. That they're going to try and do better. Very well. I give everyone one chance. One. This is all you're getting, Wizards. This doesn't mean I'm coming back to D&D, because I'm not. Not unless your new OGL says something absolutely fucking insane that Pathfinder just doesn't do. That Kobold Press just doesn't do that. No! Not even just them. That no other tabletop RPG does. Unless your OGL does something insanely positive for the community that no other TTRPG does, I won't be coming back to D&D. Thank you for caring enough to let us know what works and what doesn't, what you need and what scares you. Without knowing that, we can't do our part to make the new OGL match our principles. Finally, we'd appreciate the chance to make this right. We love D&D's devoted players and the creators who take them on so many incredible adventures. We won't let you down. Well, you already have, this is just an outright lie. If you had tacked on a "we won't let you down" again, then that would have been correct. But this is just an outright lie. Overall, This statement doesn't really do anything. It doesn't clear anything up. It doesn't give us any answers. It's just you trying to be like, oh, we're sorry, we won't do it again, please forgive us. Which, you know what? Everyone gets one chance. So, Wizards, stop throwing D&D Beyond under the bus. Um, have the balls to put this on your account. And don't make your employees risk their fucking job just to save the community. Because this is beyond fucked up. This is just as fucked up as what you just tried to do to the community.